It's a living hell 24 hours, 7 days a week.
There was a robbery going bad.
When I got out, I came home with nothing. I didn't even have a dime in my pocket.
Pennsylvania's a bit behind the rest of the country.
Dirty job.
Shovel in hand, Johnny Berry is cleaning up other people's messes.
Make sure it doesn't kind of rip.
It's not his dream job.
I would prefer to do something else, but this is what I'm doing at the time, and I have to do it. I have a newborn son. He's almost 3 months old, and he costs, man.
According to the National Registry of Exonerations, Berry is one of the more than 80 people who have been exonerated in Pennsylvania since 1989.
I was actually just running the streets, which led to me being falsely accused and then ultimately convicted for a horrible crime I had nothing to do with.
The crime was murder. He was convicted in 1995 and sentenced to life without parole. Last year, Berry was exonerated. He had been falsely accused.
I was 16. I'm 42 now.
He didn't have job training in prison. He was a lifer, never getting out. But now that Berry is out, after 23 years in prison, he needs to adjust to freedom.
I'm working as an underdog, a victim, if you will. And I need help, you know? And I'm sitting here, I'm free, thankfully, but I have to be able to survive out here.
And he says the state is no help.
The state offers none to exonerees here in Pennsylvania. We don't have any resources readily available to us.
Vincent Moto started playing drums when he was in grade school.
I love drums. I played drums all my life.
But a 1987 wrongful conviction derailed Moto's dreams of a music career.
I'm standing here the whole time. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
He served 10.5 years for sexual assault until a DNA test led to his exoneration.
I was expecting them at least to compensate me for some of the time, for the time that I was wrongfully incarcerated. You destroyed my life.
But he received nothing. The state of Pennsylvania doesn't have a law mandating some type of payment and social services for time spent wrongfully behind bars. The Commonwealth is one of 15 states that does not have a law that compensates wrongfully convicted people.
People are being exonerated, walking out of prison with nothing.
Michelle Feldman is with the Innocence Project. She advocates for compensation laws.
The Commonwealth not having a law, it's really neglecting people that they harmed in the first place by, putting them in prison for a crime they didn't commit. And then when they get out and they don't provide them with any resources, it just is continued injustice.
The idea is the state would set an amount to pay the exoneree for each year he or she is incarcerated. For example, in New Jersey, it's up to $50,000 per year of wrongful incarceration. In Texas, it's $80,000. In New York, there is no dollar limit. But Feldman says any law has to be about more than money. The wrongfully convicted also need services.
That includes in a lot of states job training, tuition assistance, counseling, help with transportation and housing and health insurance. And all of these things that really we take for granted that help us survive, they need as soon as they can get it to help them restart.
In Pennsylvania, the only option that an exoneree has is to file a civil rights case.
Jeffrey Gutman is a professor at George Washington University. He says federal civil rights lawsuits are hard to prove and not every wrongful conviction case qualifies.
They have to plead and ultimately prove that a state agent, a state officer, or a state municipality engaged in unconstitutional misconduct that deprive them of the right to fair trial.
So a case of mistaken identity or new DNA testing might not mean a civil rights violation. Gutman's analysis of the civil rights lawsuits in the Commonwealth shows about half of Pennsylvania's exonerees have filed.
They're difficult, and only about a quarter have been successful, either by settlement or verdict, in getting compensation in Pennsylvania.
That's why advocates push for state compensation laws.
It's just the right thing to do.
Legislation.
And it's what State Representative Christopher Rabb wants to do.
How can we justify taking away 10, 20, 30 years of someone's life and not compensating them for something that the government did to them.
Rabb says he's going to introduce a bill. He sent out this co-sponsorship memoranda. In it, he says the awards from civil lawsuits have cost Pennsylvania taxpayers more than $29 million. He's proposing offering $65,000 per year spent incarcerated, plus social services.
It's not just the money. It's access to services, because you've been denied so many services being incarcerated.
Rabb believes his effort will gain bipartisan support.
There's no one who can fight me on this, right? This is something that transcends party affiliation, generation, political ideology.
Rabb says if passed, the benefits will be retroactive, helping people like Moto.
I'm always struggling. Electric bill come, a gas bill come, a water bill come. I'm sitting down every penny. I'm pinching pennies to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Vincent Moto says he's still feeling the effects of being wrongfully convicted 24 years after his release.
These plugs right here, they're there for my label.
He wants to make a living building and selling his drum kits. But he hasn't been able to make up financially or emotionally for the lost time.
The state or somebody has to be held responsible for what they did to us. We're innocent people.
Johnny Berry could use the money and the services.
You like me, right?
He has a family to support. So he'll keep cleaning, working to regain what was lost to a wrongful conviction.
I like to call it sort of a compassionate compensation, if you will. You know, just showing that, hey, the state recognizes that a mistake was made, we've been victimized, and just to give us an opportunity to be able to get on our feet.